Hello there. We're reverting back to, welcome to Thursday Ink Reviews. We're reverting back to our normal time, or I guess our old time. So basically for the past month I've been trying this let's do ink reviews earlier in the day thing, and it just was not working. Also not helped by the fact that not my lawn care people, the apartment lawn care people, apparently that exact time is when they do lawn care. So there was lots of lawnmower noise, and I did not enjoy it. Also, I had to be stressed to make sure I made my 3 o'clock appointment. And I was like, you know what? I thought I enjoyed doing it before, but not. So I moved it today because I actually had to work this morning. But then I was like, you know what? I actually prefer let's go back. So as I mentioned last week, why am I in box 3? We're done with box 3. As I mentioned last week, we are now in the midst of basically this whole box. At least the unused inks in this box are all Diamine Shimmertastic inks. When the first 2 rounds came out, I bought sample sets of them immediately, and I haven't gotten to all of them. I've gotten to quite a few of them, but that's mainly what's in this box. So for the next like 2 months, it's gonna be all sparkle inks. There's some dicey ones, like one of them today. I have Diamine Golden Oasis. There ain't a lot in this vial, so I put it in the title, but I don't know if I'm actually going to have enough ink to actually fill in my pens. So this is a big fat question mark. We're going to try it first, and then we have Inferno Orange, and then the other two, like, I have not used Cocoa Shimmer. There's a lot. I've used Inferno Orange once before, but just like once, there's definitely enough to do with this with. So first off, we're going to see if I even have enough ink in here to do ink reviews. It's going to be fun. I'm probably going to need to break out the syringe to get everything filled properly. Okay. Get all my pieces together. And if you notice, the Lamy converter that's been sitting in there for months is gone because the cartridge that was in my Lamy, I finally used it up, finally ran out of ink. Did a bunch of pen cleaning over the last couple days. I also decided to actually use the FPC.ink currently inked feature. Hey, Rowell! But yeah, so I decided to actually start using, I get this idea every like year or so to actually use the FPC.ink currently inked feature, and then it never ended up working. But I have been using like this Inky Fingers currently inked book, and I've actually been keeping track of it. So the fact that I could establish it manually means I probably have a decent shot of doing it digitally. And the reason I decided to start doing it digitally is because my currently inked is all over the place in here. It's not like, oh, this whole page is currently inked, like I have one in this page, one over here, etc. So doing on the FPC will allow me to like actually see my color palette of currently inked fairly easily. So we're gonna shake this up and see if we can even fill anything with this like 1 milliliter. That 1 milliliter is going to be like barely enough to actually do all the reviews. I have no idea if I can even like fill my pens with this. Oh man. There might be an early cleaning. That's like not even... This is not working. Oh! Oh, I got something. It's not a lot. This is enough to do a review. It's like hardly anything in here, but the reviews don't use that much ink. So I managed to fill this lid. This is where my background as a scientist really comes in handy, because I have these fine technical motor skills for filling small volumes. I don't know if a lot of other people without scientific training could have filled that. Because people struggle to fill these things with like 2 milliliters. Okay. We might need to fill straight to the converter. No. Yeah, I don't know. This looks like a big fat. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to go straight to converter. No, it's not even... Okay, I need a syringe. Give me 2 seconds. It's on the other side of the desk. Here's my syringe. It's labeled inks only because this used to be the syringe I kept in my desk in graduate school, where there's actual syringes floating around for like scientific purposes. So I had to label it for inks only. Oh yeah, there's like nothing in here. This is gonna be dicey. I'm actually split it between the two. Again, scientific background comes in very handy. This should be enough. Stay. Actually, you know what I should have done? I do have a P200. A very uncalibrated P200, but a P200 nevertheless. With a box of tips in a drawer somewhere. I borrowed it for a Halloween costume one, like, my first year of graduate school, and then just never gave it back. Oopsies. Yeah, okay. That's as good as we're gonna do. We're gonna hope that that's enough. I think I've done one before where it's been this dicey, and it was enough. It was barely enough. What I'm doing now is priming the feed because there we are, because I do not feel like waiting. There we are. Cool. What I was doing, in case it was hard to tell because I was concentrating, was I was basically pushing down the piston on the converter until a little, like very slowly, until a itty bitty bit of ink started coming out of the breather hole, or the filler hole. And that's how I knew, okay, my feed is primed. Like I said, you need fine motor skills to do shit like this. Just because you don't have scientific lab training doesn't mean that you can't do it. I'm just saying that having had that training, like, basically prepares you for it. So if you've had that training, you could probably do this. Like, almost certainly. If you haven't, you know, give it a shot. So, okay. So we're going to see, hopefully this lasts me enough for full review. This is going to be fun to find out. Like I said, I think I've successfully done this before, but it, like, burned through all of them. This is going to be my test, because I've got, like, 3 or 4 more in that box that are at that level. And so we're going to have to see if that's going to be enough for future reviews, like for future reference. So I might have a half-filled page of my notebooks. But anyway, yeah, Raul. As seeing your point, I've actually been, since I've started this Inky Fingers like notebook, much better about keeping track of it. Sometimes I'm good about writing it down when I ink up the pen. I'm much worse at writing down when I clean the pen. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Probably because I like write it, like I go clean the pens at the back, so the notebook is like set up by all my inks. So when I ink something up, I just grab a pen, ink, go, and the notebook's right there. I can see it, write it down. For cleaning the pens, I do that in the bathroom. And then technically I go and plop my inks over here, like in my little drying bin, but like, I don't know, for some reason the fact that I've already dried them makes me like not, like it disconnects me from the fact that I should probably log that I was cleaning them. Okay, and we have Diamine, Golden, Oasis. Probably show you what the swab looks like. That's book 2. I recently had to rearrange things because periodically I like to kind of evenly distribute my book 1. This one was getting really fat compared to my second book, and they're in rainbow order, so I just transferred a whole bunch of blues. I have some, I might need to just like go the like categories route and have like front cards rather than full rainbow, because especially in these like blues where I have like these teals, but then I also have like these aqua like these lighter aqua, like tealy, slightly green, and then they get bluer, and then it goes like back up to light. I don't know. I need a grid of like hue and saturation, and that's not how linear ring systems work. There we are, Diamine Golden Oasis. It is a bright green ink with golden shimmer, hence the Golden Oasis. I really like it. I oscillate depending on what I like best, gold or silver. Depends on the situation. I actually tend to prefer silver trim on pens. I'm not 100% silver. I do have some pens with gold trim. It's not a make or break, but I strongly prefer silver trim and hardware. But I also strongly prefer gold shimmer. I don't like silver shimmer nearly as much. And then my jewelry is all over the place. Gold, silver. I tend to have more silver just because that's the like actual rest of the jewelry that I like tends to have silver hardware. But I have lots of gold as well, especially like my bracelets and stuff. Those all tend to be silver for some reason. Yeah, I feel very strongly about color order. I don't understand the people that organize solely by brand, because for me the whole point of inks is that it's the different colors. And so how, if you like, say you want to fill up like a red, you have to go to like 5 different places to get all your reds? No, all the reds should be in one spot. How exactly the order within those like strict colors, it, like I said, especially the oranges are easy, the reds are easy, pinks and purples are easy. It's the blues, specifically like the blue, green, teal category, and like aqua, that it's like, I don't know what order I should put these in. And the greens, especially like the green greens to yellow greens, and then that also gets messy. At least with my collection, because I would rather do it in 2 dimensions by saturation and hue. Okay, so let's look at this. So far this pen has done a lot better with these sparkle inks than I would expect, because it struggled with some of the Chinese inks last year, sparkle inks, and those tend to be, at least have finer sparkle than the Diamine ones. The Diamine ones are usually my least well behaved, or one of them, aside from the 1D Atramentus hellishness. Because like this struggled with the Corneline d'Egypte. And this just likes Diamine sparkle inks. Though I say that now, this feels a little dry. Which, again, is what I expected from this pen, which is a dry writer, and, in general, struggles more with sparkle inks than the other 2 pens. Yeah, I got a lot of gold up front, and now it's petering out a bit. So I hope it's working all right. Like I said, I can't really check because I have the plunger down. So I'm gonna probably try, until I see what it looks like in these two pens, refrain from commenting on the wetness or dryness of an ink of this particular ink, because I think that's also going to be influenced by the fact that I had to syringe fill a converter. Not being able to prime the converter when filling, I find, really does affect the flow of the ink out of the pen. At least at first. It could also be the actual shade of green, because a lot of these do tend to be on the drier side. I will say, I don't know if it's the green paper or not, but the fact this is writing much more pure green than I was expecting. I was expecting a little bit more yellow-green based on the swatch. But again, it also has yellow, it has gold shimmer in it, so that could be affecting my perception. So wait, Revel, you said keep track better. Do you currently keep track of currently inked, just poorly? Or do you just like say I should keep better track when keeping better track is keeping track at all? Yeah, this is feeling much better in the regular writer. I think it's dry writer there. It doesn't like the sparkle, because the jump in how enjoyable this is to write with in the regular writer versus the dry writer is more than it usually is for dry inks. Ah, okay, yep. That's what I used to do. I'm like, currently inked, and occasionally throw that up on Instagram or the Pen Addict Slack, and then don't keep track. I think there's value in that, though, in addition to keeping track of it in like an Inking Fingers notebook, because that's a snapshot in time of what you actually have currently inked versus the Inking Fingers notebook has start and stop dates. So I think that actually might be a good thing to do in conjunction with Inking Fingers. Inking Fingers tells you how long you kept something inked, because like I didn't realize I had like, till I looked yesterday, my E95S has been inked with Lamy Vibrant Pink since like February, and it doesn't feel like it's been that long, but apparently it has. And like my Lady Shaper with Jacarbon Bleu de Minuit has been inked with that since early April, and again, doesn't feel like that long. But that's a different thing from seeing the snapshot of like literally what is your rainbow spread of colors right now. So that would be an interesting additional notebook to keep to that. Oh, you wrote something else that I haven't even seen. Yeah, more systematic is fun. Keeping data for yourself is fun. I'm still trying to figure out if the fact that it seems more pure green to me, this ink, is because of, like, I was seeing the sparkle in the swab, or it's because it's on cream paper, or just, you know, some inks look different when you write with them. It's probably a mix of all three, to be quite honest. So now I'm thinking that I should do like a currently inked book. Oh, yes, grapefruit. I was kind of leaning towards grapefruit. And there's the weird, and like grapefruit was the runaway winner by a lot. Where was I in the article? Quest 2, there we are, the photo group. And I was surprised that it was that much of a runaway winner, because it never came up as indirect suggestions. I just like took Brian's suggestion of an orange or a red and flipped through it. I'm like, grapefruit. I haven't inked up grapefruit in a long time. That's probably a good one. And threw it in the poll, and the people were like, yes, you were right about that. That is a good idea. And it was a good plan. Yeah, this one's writing fine, but I expected that because I was actually able to write it. And it's also, I think the dryness here is coming from the fact that this pen is not as good with sparkle inks. Just the feet does not keep up. And that doesn't really have to do with the wetness or the dryness of the pen, I've found, because I have other pens that write like normally that just don't do sparkle inks. Something about this Waterman Hemisphere in particular that loves sparkle inks. But yeah, where did I put it? So yeah, this is the pen that got filled up with grapefruit, in case you were wondering. In case anyone's watching this on YouTube later, or isn't on Pen Addict Select. This pen is a gift from me. Was a gift from a friend. And yeah, I actually hadn't inked it up since I got it, because I had a bunch of pens inked at the time. And I don't like having a bunch of pens inked at once, so I got my thing down since I cleaned a bunch yesterday. I cleaned a bunch yesterday, so I was like, okay, cool. I looked at my palette of things that I needed to ink, and I was like, there's something missing here. I need something else. Probably because I had 2 greens inked that led to overly greening. And so Brian Chewbacca, Red Dragon Pen Co. suggested like a red or an orange, so I flipped through my thing, and I was like, KW Grapefruit. And then put up to a poll. Grapefruit was the runaway winner. I agreed with the poll, because sometimes it's a thing with polls. But yeah, this is I should probably tell you that this is a Pilot Elite. I don't know what year or anything. There's a bunch of these. Doggo, the user Doggo, the wonderful Doggo could probably give me much more information on this specific model if I asked. I just haven't asked. But yeah, same as it has this nice semi-hooded nib, and you know me from my 45s, I love my semi-hooded nibs. So yeah, it's got good old KWZ grapefruit in it. Where's my Kikuyo? Oh, exciting today. This is the last page. Today is our last page of this Kikuyo notebook. Next week is a new notebook. But yeah. But anyway, back to theory on polling. Usually, part of the reason why I tend to put things up, if I'm indecisive, up to a poll, is that not because I want to go with public opinion, but usually having other people give me their opinions helps solidify what my opinion actually is. Like, being challenged on my opinion helps me figure out, okay, yes, I really do want this, or no, I actually don't care. And I think that's true for a lot of people. Yes, a new notebook next week. And after that, then I'm going to have to order a new pack of these, because that's going to be the last one from this pack. Because I had used 2 for, I don't know, I remember if I gave them away. I think I did give 2 of them away to other people. Like in a Secret Santa or something, ages ago. Because I bought this 5-pack to use as lab notebooks. And then like 2 months later, I left the program. So I never actually got a chance to use them as lab notebooks. But so I gave 2 away in like a Secret Santa, and then I've been working through them for ink reviews. And because they are the thinnest notebooks of the ones I use, this'll be, like, they're the ones I burn through the fastest. I'm getting close-ish with the Rhodia too, but that's still several more weeks with this second Rhodia pen. And I'm still on my first, I'm clearly still on the Hippo, because that's the point of the Hippo, is that it's massive. And surprisingly, I'm still on the same Staples notebook that I started with like a year ago, almost a year ago, doing things twice a week. Was not expecting that to last over a year. Though I suppose I could have actually just looked at the page count on the thing and done the math. And that would have told me all I needed to know. That would have been smart. Component. Yeah, I do not like using this ink in this pen. It just is very dry. It's not get it out of my pen now dry. Like, I'm not desperate to get it out. This is something where I would ink it up and then be like, it's fine, and then never actually use it because I just don't enjoy it and I'm in denial about it. That's happened before with this exact pen, actually. Inked it up with some dry inks and been like, it's fine. But then don't pick it up, don't use it. Oh, no wonder this Medicaid. Okay, yeah, the reason this is dry is because it just straight up ran out. There's still ink in here. I think it's just not behaving well with the feed. So it's causing some minor clogging issues. Yeah, now that's much better to write with. But anyway, I'm reading this article, so I'm reading this article because I'm just like, I knew the governor was trying to do some like Medicaid waiver thing. Georgia has not expanded Medicaid, of course it hasn't. It's not blue, it's a heavily red state. Why would it have expanded Medicaid? But there was something floating around about Medicaid waivers, and I kept hearing about it, and I'm like, I don't really trust that the GOP government wants to actually expand Medicaid just based on their track record. So I'm confused, and so this is actually the first article I've read that's clarified what's going on. And no wonder they're getting denied their request from the federal government, because they're like, well, we want full funding, but not to actually really expand it to everyone like you want us to. And I'm like, no, that's basically saying, I only want to do half the work. Please give me an A. I'm like, no wonder they're getting denied. Okay. Oh, but apparently they were given reassurances from the federal government that it would go through. I don't know. It's a mess. Doesn't look like they had support from the right people, though. Or someone was like, hey, that's great, but that's not how the law is written. I don't know. It's weird. I still don't know, like they said they wanted a waiver, so they basically wanted a waiver from, like, they wanted all the funding, but they wanted a waiver for providing all the benefits that were required, and I still don't see what they were gonna not cover. This ink has really pretty shading, especially in the wet pen. I mean, most of these light green inks have pretty shading, but some you can see it. Some have more pretty shading than others. Like, there's a scale on the pretty grading. There's a pretty shading scale. There we are. I was gonna say, look how much, like, it changes shade, but especially up here, that's definitely influenced by the fact that it was clogging and not getting all the full flow, versus this was more like when I actually primed the feed, so it's like, take it as you will. But that's still valuable information in itself, that it doesn't really agree with dry feeds. Oh, that ended nicely at the end of the paragraph. Yeah, I think we're gonna have, like I said, I was pretty sure if I could get the ink in the pens, that amount would be enough to actually do a full review. Oh, The glitter has distributed very nicely in this one. It's very even. It's not as clumped up as it sometimes can get. Though I will say the one bad thing about, I guess, the consistency in my scans, because I do scanning for color consistency across all my scans, is that it really doesn't capture sheen but really shimmer all that well. Because shimmer, you tend to need to catch the light to get the shimmer, which is more easily done on the Rhodia than it is my other notebooks, because it is smaller. Oh yeah, you can see like the gold settling there. Demos are the best for glitter inks, especially piston filler demos, because you have it like this where it's just like right up against the walls of the pen. You can see all the funness. Cartridge converter demos, you got the those layers of plastic, so it's harder to see. Yeah, this is acting kind of similar to Rouge Imitate, where there's enough gold on there that it is kind of affecting the color a little bit depending on the light. Because some of these glitter inks, it's like, okay, it's just sparkly. It doesn't actually affect what the color's perceived like. Here it's like, in the wet pen especially, it's like adding a layer over top of everything. Yeah, very pretty. Let's see. Do you get the... Yeah, you can kind of get it. The shine. In this one, ironically, the most of all, even though it's in there in all of them, but you can kinda. Let's see if it doesn't shit paper. The Tropical Glow didn't do as well. I think I'd mentioned this before, where Girbon Rouge Imitate is one of the best performers I've ever seen on shitty paper. For whatever reason. I don't know what the chemistry is in that ink, because the chemistry in that ink is also bonkers. It sparkles and sheens like it sheens green on a red ink with a gold sparkle, and it just looks like not a red. Things happen with that ink, but then it also performs well on cheap paper. It doesn't look as good because you don't have the sheen, but so the chemistry in that ink is wild in a good way. And these, I guess, more normal shimmer inks don't seem to have that. Even among the other Girbons, which I have several of. Emerald of Chivor doesn't have that fantastic performance. It's just Rouge Imitate. Yep, need to prime the feet again. It's starting to dry out, get clogged. Or not. Did that not work? What's that bubble? Are we gonna have another, are we having another one of these diatomaceous situations? Looks like it. There we go, you can see the sheet, it has sparkle on my fingers. You know what, I'm just gonna keep writing. Okay, so some of the Diamine inks are fine with shimmer, or some of the Diamine inks are fine in this pen, and some are not, because now we're 1-in-1 with work and doesn't work with the Diamine shimmer. What am I doing? I think that one clogged, I think this ink clogged my vanishing point too, back when I still had a vanishing point. I remember that happening, so I wonder if this bottle in particular just had large particles. I don't think I ever tried any other shimmering in that vanishing point though, so that's not a good data point. Okay. This article still isn't telling me what the Medicaid limits would be. That's why I'm reading it. You don't need sheen or shading or anything. That's average. So nothing spectacular. Okay, cool. Yeah, notebook almost went on the ground. I'm disappointed because the thunderstorm that definitely looked like it was going to happen is just sort of, I guess, skirted around us. Like, I heard thunder earlier. The sky was dark. It looked like it was going to pour, and then it never did. The temperature did drop, though, so that's nice. Okay. So, let's empty this back in our vial. I'm still like, damn, you really did that. You really eked out. We'll see how much left we have left. Oh yeah, there's still a decent number of droplets. Not enough probably to fill another pen again. Maybe one syringe fill is still viable in here. Maybe. Yeah, there's hardly anything left in here. There's like less than half a mil. That's it. Okay, I'm gonna go clean these pens, and then we're gonna be back for the next Sparkle Ink, because like I said, it's Sparkle Ink Palooza here for the next couple months. Because that's where we are in my archaeological dig of my ink samples. So, yeah. So I'll see you in like 10-15 minutes. So it seems like the reliable way to watch this to account for stream shenanigans by the part of my internet. Like I said, I'm blaming my internet on this, not Twitch, because like the just dropped frames thing and stuff. Like I could see that on my stats. Is to watch it while I stream live rather than counting on it being on YouTube, because sometimes YouTube is the internet is a bitch and corrupts the video, and that's the only way you could see it is if you saw it live. But like my Monday stream where I did just basically Aqua getting scritches for like 40 minutes, which was delightful. She loved it. She was like, this is the best. You never scritch me for more than like 15 minutes at a time, because yeah, I usually get bored. But I was like, oh, we're entertaining the masses. This is fine. Which, if you do want to watch Aqua getting pets, that is in my videos either down there. If you, well, no, I guess it's up there on both. Down there's the information, it swaps, so it's up there on Twitch, Aqua getting pets in my videos. Or it's over on YouTube, which I did export it. So pick one. Okay. So this, I know we're not going to need the syringe, because I looked at it earlier in the stream. So we had Golden Oasis. Next one is Diamine Inferno Orange. There's much more ink in this vial. I can successfully fill from all the pens from this vial. I know I can, because I've done it with this amount of ink before. Hadn't done it with the amount with Diamine Golden Oasis. Shake it like the Dickens. The cardinal rule of sparkle inks. Cool. That should be enough. Yeah, look at that. This one in particular looks really cool in converters or demos. Like, orange inks usually look cool because they have that light property, which makes them translucent. And then this, you add the like liquid, the metal particles, the sparkle particles, and it just is like, yep, that looks really cool. I would like me some of that, please. Okay, let's look what the swatch looks like. I remember this is a, like I said, I've inked this up before. It's a really rad orange. It's like basically like liquid fire in your pens. Yeah, there we are. It's right here with like Krishna Palaza, Fire on Fire, Apricot, that family. Diamine Pumpkin. It's just like, yes, I shall sear you now with the orange. It is fine. We're in this fun family. A lot of oranges in that family. Let's see. Notebooks. Notebooks are fun. Notebooks are very helpful for when you actually want to write reviews. It's a weird signature page with this, because it's the end of a signature. Hippos are weird. Their manufacturing is strange for such an expensive notebook. Okay, it's starting to get a little bit darker out, so hopefully the lighting stays okay. Are we going to start off right away with clogging? Damn it. I think we are. Oh well. I'm going to keep rating it like I did with the watermint, or with the Diatomentus. But that's unfortunate. You know what it probably is? So with sparkle inks, there's always usually residual sparkle in the feed. So it could very well be that like this is the buildup of this is now the third sparkle ink in a row in this pen, and it's just too much for it to handle. So I'm gonna probably ink this up with Florida Blue after this to help clean out some of the sparkle. Okay, so this is at least better than the Diatomentus, because you can still tell that something was written there and you can kind of read it. The Diatomentus was just like, full stop, nothing went down. So this will probably do fine. Like I've said before, this Waterman is my, for some reason, I love sparkle inks so much. This is my standard, let's test a sparkle ink pen, and it has been for years and years and years. So if it doesn't work in this pen, it's not a good sparkle ink. This is a tad drier than the other sparkle ink and other sparkle inks I've used. I can feel it when I write with it, which makes sense because the wetness gives usually the sparkle a little bit of help, so the fact that this started out of the gate completely clogged indicates that it probably was a drier ink. I might actually ink both of these with Florida Blue just to clean them out, just in case. Legislative leaders. Well, that one's definitely getting Florida Blue. I don't know about this one. I might just do like, I might do Tender Purple. I'm now thinking that I'm like, oh, I haven't done a bunch of sparkle lakes in a row, so this is a learning experience. But no, I have done a bunch of sparkle lakes in a row. I did last year when I got back from San Francisco, but those were Chinese sparkle, which didn't have, whose particle sizes aren't nearly as large as the Diamine ones. Don't know the exact specs on this, like what the diameters and radii and everything are. Average for particle size. Yeah, that worked, but I can definitely, like, I can feel it working in this one. It feels like it's struggling to come out. Kind of like how this one felt early on with the other ink. So this is definitely on the dry side. This is on the dry side of sparkle inks. Now this is the pen I'd actually used this ink in before, because I was like, putting this pen in a demo so it looks like liquid metal floating around in there? Hell yeah. Okay. Still felt like that oddly slippery, which I've had in some other pens. I don't know what it is. It looks real good though. It reminds me much more of Fire on Fire than it does of like Apricot, because it's a more on the pure orange side. Okay. So like I said, you can kind of see it, but it's not like, don't put this in your dry pens, folks. It's not going to agree with it. Ah, okay, that's why this thing was rejected, because they're like, nope, we're not even going to expand Medicaid a little bit. They're like, anything that has anything to do with the Affordable Care Act, nope. Okay. So that has some really excellent shading, like, damn, especially in the wet pen. There's some in the regular writer, but like, excellent, excellent shading. This is definitely getting tag shading in the wet pen. Rhodia, here we are, Rhodia. can see it's trying. There's a little bit. Oh no, the stream dropped. Lovely. Okay, this one, and then we got shitty paper, and then we'll be done for the week. Can you see the sparkle? Not really. This doesn't quite have... I will say about this, yeah, it clogs the wet pen, or the dry pen, but that's okay, because where you really want it is the wet pen, because this has... Wet pen has by far the best sparkle distribution and great shading on top of it. So, like, it looks okay in this one, but it really, like, looks excellent in a wet pen. So if you buy this, put it in a gusher. That's generally true for most orange pens, for whatever, or orange inks. They tend to look okay in wet and or in dry and regular writers, but where they really shine is a wet writer. That's, like I said, true for most orange inks. Orange inks with shading anyway. That maybe are on a little bit of the yellow end of the spectrum. Deeper, like red oranges, you can put them in whatever, and it's fine. They tend to look good in all the things. Like I did, that's one of the first reviews I did was KWZ Grapefruit. And that shit looks good in no matter what you put it in. Let's see if this helps it. Sometimes the absorbent paper helps coax ink out of the pen, but sometimes it does not. Still unknown at. Deloitte? I don't know how to pronounce that. D-E-L-O-I-T-T-E. Deloitte? Deloitte? I don't know. Someone pronounce that for me. Okay. Poor sad thing. Does not like these. Like I said, I'm going to ink this up with, after I clean it, going to throw a Watermelon Florida Blue in there to, like, try and scrub the feet of Sparkles. Because it needs it. It needs that TLC. I was thinking of doing the same thing with this one, but it seems fine. Okay, one more, and then we'll be done. Is this even shading in the crappy paper? It looks like it's trying to. Okay, let me have a look at this further. Yeah, it tried really hard to shade in the wet pen, but it really just led to, like it usually does, just like more feathery bleed through areas and less. That is not terrible at all. That's pretty okay. Especially this one. This is like clearly you've got bleed through. Don't ignore this because nothing came out on the front side. Okay, so that's going to do it for us, folks. Thank you for joining me for another session of Thursday Ink Reviews. Like I said at the top of the stream, we're switching back to this later time, like 5:30-ish, sometime between 5 and 6. Not earlier, because I have an appointment at 3, so like the earliest I could possibly start it is 5 p.m. That way we don't have lawnmowers. It does get a little dark, but that's what overhead lights are for. I just haven't gotten to turn it on. And it also works better. I'm not scrambling. So I will see you next week, this time, 5 p.m.-ish Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, thanks for joining me. Bye.